Hey Tomboys, it's Kay Short. Welcome to another episode of Tomboy Talks. It's officially the third episode, and this time I got the chance to interview Shay CEO. CEO is an artist, particularly R&B, so that was like my go-to because I'm a big R&B head. A writer, someone who has been working in the music industry for a long time, just an overall artist in general. And if you know anything about me, I have a deep respect and admiration for artists because I feel like I wish that's something that I have. I know I'm an artist in a different way. Maybe it's more of the art of conversation that I continue to practice and work on, but I've always enjoyed getting to know music artists and painting artists and writing artists and just all those people in those more traditional roles of artistry. As we're moving into this new world of 2020, I know that artistry and creativity is something that looks different to us on a day-to-day basis, but Shay CEO is period an artist at their core. When you get to see the conversation, they start even reverberating songs back to me because of just words that I'm saying. So you can just tell that music is in their blood. But not only did we get to talk a little bit about their music and what they're getting into, we also got to talk about ambition. We got to talk about Christianity and how that kind of works into our queerness. We got to talk about friendship. I got the chance to be honest and vulnerable about my sore spots in my life and what I'm currently working on. And all the things that they got to accomplish during quarantine. As we all know, quarantine has been treating us all a little bit differently. But when it comes to Shay CEO, they have used their ambition to the utmost fullest and have completed a lot of their old goals from 2019 and are also completing their 2020 goals. And I hope you all enjoy this video of me getting to know Shay.
I guess if we can introduce it really quick. I have to think about who showed me your account. Oh, now I'm like, who showed me your account? Because I saw, I was on Tumblr. I'm gonna throw it back really quick. I was on Tumblr because I was like, you know what? I know there's tomboys on Tumblr. Let me just jump on this again because I know that's where we put our real feelings at. So let me just see, like our real like MySpace feelings into that. Let me see who's on here. And so I'm like just kind of scrolling, found Cam, and then I was like, who took the pictures though? That's what I want to know. I was like, the pictures are great. I was all like, especially because like for me, you don't see a lot of pictures of tomboys, you know what I mean? Like just smiling, having a good time, being themselves, having fun.
So it's that hard look.
Always a hard look, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like I think that's one thing. Like I want to change that conversation. It's like that there's a soft and tender side to us. That it's more for some of us. It's more of a duality of our femininity and our masculine energy, and so. I think that's like just a different kind of conversation I want us to have, and I want to project to Tomboy International. You know what I mean? Like masculinity doesn't look like one way. You know what I mean? Right. I'm not sure if you follow the account. She Does Him.
Yeah, I do. Allison. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just started putting out stuff about different Black masculinity. You know what I mean, for women too. And I was like, see, like there's something in the air. And so I think it's something that we just need to have a conversation about. Right. But yeah, I kind of want to learn more about your background. I know that you got your bachelor's degree, you got your master's degree. But I'm curious about like, when did you know like you were an artist and then you started pursuing that trajectory?
I started writing poetry when I was like 7. I was published at like 7, 8. Like magazines around town and stuff. My mom has all that at her house. It went on. Whenever I was in high school, I dated a guy and he was into music and stuff. And so I was like, I'm gonna be your manager. And he was like, yeah. So like we did that, had a little buzz. And then I went to college and my whole thing was I wanted to own a record company. So I was like, I want to learn business. So I was a business marketing major at first when I went to Baylor. But then I couldn't pass finances, me and numbers. When you get all technical, I'm like, no. But then I was like, okay, well, if I do start a company and I don't have anybody to run the board and the videos and everything else, what am I going to do? I need to learn to do that. So I was like, you know what? Squash it. I went ahead and changed my major to film and digital media. So that's where I got like deeper into my music, and actually I had free range to use the studio and do whatever I want. At that time, nobody was really using the studio. So they had like old stuff back in the day. It was like Cool Edit Pro. I didn't even have Adobe Audition, like Pro Tools, like none of that. I think they got Pro Tools my senior year right before I left. I was like,
oh my God. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? The freshmen always get the good stuff.
Right. And so after that, but like, you know, I came here, I still was helping my friends and artists that I knew around town. I was doing club promotions too and stuff. So I was just like, oh, okay. But then I was like, I have all these notebooks full of songs nobody hears, nobody knows. And I'm always scared that, you know, oh, I'm a lesbian, they're gonna not care or want to listen to me. But then I'm like, my shit's dope. Like, fuck y'all, excuse the language, but so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and like put it out. So 2016, I put out 2015, I think I put out my first EP, and it was like 5 songs, and I got like a good buzz from it. Everybody was feeling it. And then 2016 is when I dropped my first album, which is Who is Shay CEO. So and it kind of just stuck with me because like people are still discovering me and stuff, so I just keep the shirts on and stuff. And there was that. And then I put out, I toured a little bit. 2017, I performed at South by Southwest. I went to Texas State University about 3 times. I performed down there. I performed in Puerto Rico at an LGBT festival, music festival down there. Just little stuff around Austin and stuff. Like, I love performing. I love making music. I love the fact that it's crazy that my fan base, analytic wise, my fan base is primarily men, which is kind of cool. You know, like I am singing about females, but it is kind of cool that like, it doesn't matter. Like my music transcends. So, and music in general transcends. So it was kind of cool. So that's when I started really getting serious, was I think about 2015, 2016. I was like, I can't keep hiding and writing stuff or whatever. My favorite funny memory, my mom and I still talk about this. I was writing music and I was in my closet recording and stuff. And my mom called and she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in the closet." She's like, "I thought you came out already." I can't stand you. But that's what kind of relationship my mother and I have. So
I love that.
like it's been amazing. It's been a joyride, and I feel like there's more momentum coming up. And right now I have my upcoming single coming out, How I Stole Your Girl. So that's about to be really fun. And the video for that's about to be extra sexy. So I'm really excited about that.
All right. Let's rewind really quick, way back when. I'm curious because like, I feel like being an artist, it takes a lot of courage to like, I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean? And I know that for you, you're like, you know, my shit's dope. I want to put it out. But like, there has to be like this barrier of like, am I really about to do this? And like, this is where I'm going to put my time into. This is what I'm going to invest in. Like, and there has to like, some levels have those doubts. You know what I mean? So I guess my question for you, like, was it because you were just already around people that were doing it where you're like, well, they're doing it, why can't I do it? You see someone there, they're only half of, you know, maybe even half as good as what you already know or whatever. So you're like, I can obviously do that. And so why not do it? Or was there like any doubts in the process before you making the decision to say that I'm going to do this?
I don't know if it's my star sign. I don't know, like me being an Aquarian and being raised by a single mom, like, and I've watched my mom, like literally I've watched my mom put herself through school with 2 kids. And we literally went from an apartment to a 5-bedroom house, you know, and it's just us and 2 kids. So, and 2 dogs. But so I've watched my mom hustle, and it wasn't ever really said, but nobody's stopping me but me. Like, and she's like, if you want it, go get it. Like, what are you waiting on? And that's just always been my mentality. But for some reason, the last couple of years, it's kicked in. Like, what do you want? What do you want your life to look like? What's stopping you? And literally, like, I know everybody says it and it sounds so cliche, but literally nobody is stopping you from doing whatever you want to do. Like, people laugh and they say, they know when I disappear, I'm working on something. And like my friend did it one time, he's like, you disappeared and you came back with an album, you came back with a like, you know, tour, you came back with a book. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's put in that focus, and it's like learning, like we literally have the internet, like there's nothing you cannot learn to do. Right. So I really feel like, sitting around, driving around, listening to the radio, and I really don't listen to the radio anymore because I'm like, my music sounds so much better than this. And like, I sound so much better than you. I'm not saying I'm Beyonce by no means, but I'm not going to sit here and play like Sway Lee sounds better than me. So, like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this out. And like, well, I feel like Erykah Badu, like I'm sensitive about my shit. I am, but you're talking about it. You're listening to it, and that's another stream that I have. That's another dollar that I just made. Like nothing stops me. And I think like people think like, well, what's that barrier or what started it? It was just my eagerness to not keep my cage lion in, basically. Like let it out. Like show people who you are and don't care what they think afterwards.
I love that. And I feel like that's something that we need to talk about more, because I'm curious as to like, there's times where people talk about like, it's because I'm a woman why I'm not getting in certain places, or it's because I'm a person of color is the reason why I can't break through this, or it's because I'm Black, it's because I'm brown, it's because I can't get through this, it's because I'm queer, I can't get through this. What do you think about that in general, and how you move through life, and how others sometimes use that, and how they choose to move through life?
I am not one for excuses. I'm not saying that people are not going to treat me different because of who I love, because of the color of my skin, because of the fact that I'm a woman. I'm not naive to that fact. I've dealt with all of that discrimination on some level at some certain time. But at the same time, do you want to wallow in the fact that others don't like you, or are you gonna like encourage the lesbian, that like, kid that's out there that you didn't have anybody to look up to, or are you gonna like, you know, be that example for your friends? I don't have kids, but I have god kids, and I'm like, I want them, and I literally tell them all the time, I want them to look at me and be like, I can do whatever I want, because they call me Shayla Mela because Shayla Mela does it, and I can succeed. Like, it's going to be hard. There are going to be those times where it's like, I want to give up. But then like when you literally reach that point and then you turn around and you look at how far you come, it's like, okay, keep going. Like I saw, what's that saying? Like, if you're going through hell, keep going. Like, why would you stop in hell? Like, keep going. So it makes no sense. So like, and I've done that. Like, I literally, like the first EP that I put out, and then I put out the album, and like I said, I was touring, I was traveling, I was performing, I was doing all of that, and then I was in a relationship and I stopped. Now, God only knows how far along more I would be if I didn't take that 1.5 years off. Like, and now I'm picking that momentum back up, and like people are sending me videos of them dancing to my music and stuff. So I'm just like, this could have been way more, but you know, God's timing is perfect. So, but it's just, I don't feel that people's barriers really have an effect on me, because again, whenever I wake up in the morning and I decide to sit here and write this song and listen to this beat, and I decide to put this out, I decide to plan a music video, it's all on me. And like, if somebody has something to say, you at least listened, you cared, and you cared that much to say something about it. So I don't really think that being gay really stops or hinders me, because at the end of the day, again, it's what I put in and the effort I put in at the end of the day.
You know, we had the chance to talk earlier, and you said that Baylor's a Christian school, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How?
It's a Baptist school.
Huh? What is it?
It's a Baptist Christian school, Baylor. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that play into your life and into your music, and does it? Like, I guess I'm curious because like, yeah, I was recently baptized and things like that, and I kind of think of if my art was music, or if my art was anything else besides just talking and conversations and gathering stories. I'm curious of like how that would transcribe, and how obviously there's always been this conflict between the church and sexuality and stuff. So and you know, not only that, but I think also another thing that I've been learning is that the church has also played into the racist parts of the country too. So I guess I'm like just curious as how your faith plays into your life and into your art.
I'm like, I gotta take a swig on that one because I'm about to get
deep. I was like, go for it. I'm ready for it. I'm like, tell me, I want to listen.
My religion, okay, like, I don't know. Whenever people tell me, like, especially gay people, when they tell me that they battle with their sexuality and Christianity and stuff, and Christianity to me is about a relationship with God. It is not about rituals. There's nothing that you can do to save yourself other than confessing the name of Jesus as the Lord and Savior. But there's nothing by our works that we do on a daily basis that we can do to be saved, because we fail every day. We sin every day. Like, whether it's what we eat or what we wear or whatever, you know, if you want to go through all that. But what is your relationship like? I pray every day. When you said, well, my ritual, that's one thing. The first thing I do every time I wake up, every morning that I wake up, I tell Jesus, thank you. God, thank you for waking me up, because some people didn't wake up today. And I take my vitamins and I work out. But I realize also that we're in a pandemic right now. Like, some people did not make it today. And I am blessed that I did. So I really do. I thank him, and then I keep it going. And I like to think the fact that God is a creator. And if he created me, I am a part of him. And so I can create. Now, I've had people ask me, why don't you write Christian songs and stuff? I'm like, that's just not what's in me. I can tell you what I feel. I can have these conversations with you. I can write Christian books to tell you my thoughts on the subjects and stuff, or I can write my children's books. I can write those to encourage, you know, young kids to stay, you know, and build their own relationship. And again, this is about relationship. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, Jesus wasn't religious. Jesus came against the Pharisees. The Pharisees were the ones that were religious and had rituals and everything else, and they kept trying to trick him and stuff. He came down to teach religion. He came down to teach relationship. So if you don't have your own personal relationship with God, then there's nothing that anybody can do. And I don't think that me going to a Christian college or whatever, yes, it helped my faith. It helped me to dig deeper within myself. It did teach me a lot, but I also know that at the end of the day, whenever I stand before God, I know that I did my best. I tried my best to have these kind of conversations with people to bring them closer to you. And that's all that really matters. Now, and I tell people all the time, whatever I do, yes, I'm talking about how I stole your girl or whatever the case may be, but sometime and somewhere along the way during the interview, it's always going to change into this. Like, I'm going to bring attention to the fact that I am Christian. Yes, I am gay. Oh my God, I'm a conundrum. The same way that you might be a Christian, but you sleep around. Like, no sin is greater than the other. And I like to say, the ground is even at the cross. So regardless, I always go back to my faith, and it always keeps me going. So that's another reason, I guess you asked me earlier, what keeps me going and motivates me. My faith does keep me motivated, because I know that, it's called faith without works is dead. The fact that I'm working, but I have to believe that there is something somewhere, someone watching over me, keeping me safe, and making sure and making a way to have this kind of conversation. Like you just said, you went to Tumblr and you found me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did nothing to do that. That was not me. That was divine planning. That had nothing to do with Shayla. So like the fact that these things keep happening, it's not me. It's not my works. I know that there's a God, and I know that he's looking out for me. And then as long as I do my part, he's going to continue to do his part. And there's no reason for me to shy away from that because of who I choose to love, how I choose to dress, what I choose to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can continue to be whoever you want to be, and you don't need to let other people define what God is to you. Like, I have somebody tell me, oh, God's a woman to me. That's great. You believe that there's somebody over there looking out for you. Like, I don't care, as long as you believe in higher power. Now, I do have almost like somebody's like, oh, the universe. I'm like, okay, I need you to talk to somebody, because can I talk to a manager? Like, you can't just say the universe. That's a place. I need to know who exactly are you talking to. But everybody, I love everybody equally, and that's the whole principle. And the whole law, the greatest commandment is to love everybody as you love yourself. And condemning somebody, judging somebody, telling me who I can and cannot be, what I can and cannot wear, who I can and cannot love, that is not of Christian nature. So if you want to call yourself a Christian and you want to be like Christ didn't come down here and say, oh, like the woman that was committing adultery, he didn't say, oh, you're a hoe. Don't stone her. Like, he didn't do all that. He just like, all right, y'all leave her alone because y'all doing some stuff too over here. And then he's like, all right, you need to do better. Do better. Like, but he didn't like sit here and like, get on her like that. So that's just like how people are, not who the ideal and what the ideal of Christianity and Christ is supposed to be. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You said that, let me think about this. Well, because I have two questions. Let me ask the first one. So you're saying that like you want someone to believe in someone, so when people say the universe, or are atheists, like how do you feel about that, who just don't believe in God or don't believe in that higher power?
I can have these conversations with them. It is not my duty to change your mind. I can have this conversation. I can have, because to me, whenever you say the universe, is like saying my living room.
Yeah.
Like it's a place.
Yeah.
It's not an actual person. It's not an actual thing. And I don't believe that the living room is blessing me. You know what I'm saying? Like but again, that's not my place. At the end of the day, that's not my place to tell you what to do. I can have the conversation, but I'm not going to sit here and force anything on you and be like, oh, we can't be friends if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in Jesus. One of my good friends, she is an atheist. But we had this conversation. My main thing was, I'm like, so you celebrate Christmas, but you don't believe in Christ. I have so many questions. She's like, well, it's just another day. Well, it's not. Like, it's a festival. Okay, well, whatever. But again, that's just that mini conversation. Like, and I don't know, that could cause her to go look up something in the Bible or research something. I don't know. Like, that's on her. But all I can do is have the conversation and love you at the end of the day for the person that you are. She isn't, even though she's an atheist, I've partied with her. We've drank. We've had conversations. I love her. She loves me. Like, we're great friends. But that's not going to take away, for the fact it's kind of like you give a homeless man $1, right? And everybody's like, oh, don't do that because you don't know what he's going to do. It's not on me to determine what he's going to do with the money that I gave him. So I can give you the knowledge. I can give you this conversation. I can give you my time and my energy. What you do with it after that, that's on you. Yeah. And I can't be worried about what you do after that.
Yeah. How, just talking to you and just for the past 5 minutes about this, how deep is your faith? Like, how long have you been studying it, going to church? Because you're saying things, obviously, I'm like, I don't remember. I know of that, but I never went to like church school or anything like that to be like, I'm going to be in this Bible and learning it. So how part of your life is it and was it?
I was raised in the church. I mean, my grandfather was a deacon. We were literally at church, if not 4 or 5 days out the week. Wow. My mother, every Sunday we were at church. I was part of the drill team at church. Drill team. So I've been very involved in church, but and I tell people this, Baylor, I know this sounds really crazy and bougie of me, but Baylor was not my first choice of schools to go to. I actually wanted to go to Tulane. I don't remember why, but I was obsessed with Tulane University my sophomore, junior year of high school. And I did not get in. Like, we did the tour and everything, and I didn't get in. And I was all devastated or whatever, but Baylor sent me something, and I applied, and I got in. And I was like, I guess I'll go to Baylor. Like,
yeah.
So I was like, I went, and then that same year, 2005, is when Katrina hit. Again, divine intervention on a whole nother level. So I knew I didn't need to be down there, so I wasn't really worried about it. But being at Baylor, it did open my eyes to the hypocrisy. It's just like any, like in religion and faith, and then what you do on a daily basis. But we're young. At that time, I was 18, 19. So I'm trying to discover the world and live in this, crazy drug, sex, alcohol life over here. But I'm also at a Christian school, so I have to actually go to church. And then if you throw a rock at Waco, you're gonna hit somebody's church. So it's just that kind of environment. But Christian scriptures, the Bible actually was the textbook. And then Christian heritage, it tells you where all the different denominations stemmed from. So the fact that it was just very knowledgeable, you gave me the tools. That's what they gave me the tools. And now what I did with them from there, that was on me. And I'm not going to lie and say that there wasn't a time where I didn't talk to God, where I didn't pray, where I didn't just go through the motions. But whenever I look back and I see things, like I see God's hand, I know that I was just being watched out for, even if I wasn't talking to him. I tell this story sometimes. I was in a car with my friends. It was about 4 or 5 of us in a car, and I think we talked about this last time, but I used to drive to Dallas to go hang out with the gay folks up there in the gay clubs up there.
Mm-hmm.
So the club didn't close till 4, and then
Yeah.
we got to be back in class by 8 in Waco, and that drive and everything. So it was my turn to drive,
Oh my God.
and we were heading back from Dallas, and I fell asleep at the wheel. Didn't realize it. I was blasting music and everything, but everybody else in the car was asleep. But I was blasting music, and I fell asleep at the wheel, and my chest hurt. I don't have any heart problems. I don't have anything like that, but my chest hurt really bad over my heart. And I was like, what? And I opened my eyes, and right before I did, there was an embankment right in front of me, and I was able to swerve out the way.
Wow.
So I was like, that alone, and I have other stories like that, but that alone that was in my sophomore year. I hadn't moved off campus yet. It was my sophomore year at school, and it felt like that also made me start to reevaluate my relationship, with God and how I felt about it. So I just think that, like, again, faith. I tell people with business, you have to have faith to do any kind of business, because you're putting in work, regardless if you want to believe or not. You're putting in work, hoping for something to happen. And the definition of faith is, what is it? The evidence of things hoped for but not yet seen.
Mm-hmm.
That is the very definition of faith. So it's like, I'm hoping for something that I haven't seen yet. So if you believe in business, you have faith. I'm not saying that it has to be religious, but you do believe in some kind of superpower that's going to allow what you're putting work in to do to come to pass.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's just really interesting, hearing our stories and hearing more stories of people who were in the church and were very about it. And then there's always this time where you kind of stray away from it. And it's always interesting to hear how we end up coming back. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's like just this deep longingness or this missingness or this empty space that just cannot be filled with anything else besides him. You know what I mean? Like you literally turn to everything that's on the street and in media or whatever, to people and to relationships. And it's like, it's just never fulfilling. Yeah. And so I just find that interesting in hearing how people find their way back, and if they ever find their way back, some people don't, you know what I mean? But I think it's always good. It's always good to hear that. I think that's always like the beauty of it, is that like, he's always there, regardless if you ever choose to come back or not. Like, I'm still here just chilling, you know what I mean? Wherever you're at. You're talking about
that Find Your Way Back. I was actually listening to that. There's the Beyonce song Find Your Way Back. I literally was just listening to it before you came on, so I started singing in my head whenever you said that.
I know that you said you grew up in Houston, right?
H-Town, hold it down.
and that's where she's from, right?
Yep.
So how was it like growing up in Houston, and just especially Beyonce's only like, well, almost, it's like in her 40s, like almost 40?
Yeah, she's almost 40.
So I guess I just want to know what it was like growing up Beyonce time from her hometown. I'm just very curious about that.
I don't know, like I watched the Destiny's Child stuff or whatever. I'm like, who wasn't a fan, but it also, again, like, her mom owned a hair salon. And like, she also liked to sew clothes, so she used her daughter and them to do the marketing. But again, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that groundwork, that putting in that grind. And now look, her mama don't have to work. Like, her mama's not doing hair. Like, it's Miss Tina, Auntie Tina. Like, it's just, you just look at that grind. And I think anybody, especially Houston, anywhere, but I think, like, especially, we have a lot of artists that come out of Houston. And that's one thing that I'm trying to do here, is like, Austin doesn't have an Austin artist. Like, I mean, there's Gary Clark Jr., but he's more on the rock and roll, the guitar stuff. But like, there's not a hip hop artist that came out of Austin, and even so, I'm not from Austin, but it's just like, me being here and being talented, and I don't know what it is in the water in Houston that makes so many talented people, but it's just like, I don't know, that tenacity. And we grew up with the Paul Wall and stuff like that, so we knew that, like you said, like, I can do whatever I want to do. And as long as you have those people around you that support you and listen to your music and like try to share it, like, everything is just word of mouth, honestly. And if you can do that, then you can be whatever you want to be. Like Beyonce wasn't always Beyonce. Diddy wasn't always Diddy. Like, like they were Sean. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just the dude around the way that makes music or whatever. And I like this old picture that they post of Kanye when he's like in his apartment at this desk with all the, you know, keyboards and computers and stuff. And then there's another picture of him stepping out the car. Like he had to put in the work to get to where he wants to be. So it's just like, I don't know, being from Houston, it's just this era of confidence that I have. That like, I don't care, like, I'll take your girl, I'll make music, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And like, I put that in my song, like, I can do whatever I want. Why? Because I can. Like, what are you gonna tell me? Don't you make no music? What?
Yeah. Do you ever, right when we jumped on, we were talking about ambition. I want to know more about your relationship with ambition. Is it something that you're like, it's in me and I'm going to use it to its fullest? Or is there ever a time where there's a double-edged sword of that ambition where you're like, yo, I'm tired, or like maybe never feeling like it's enough? Just the other side of it, I think, and especially moving into the conversation of quarantine, you know what I mean? And how COVID has, you know, changed the way we see life maybe for some of us. I'm just thinking of like, I know that ambition has always been one of my greatest assets, but it's also sometimes been my greatest failures, in where I don't pay attention to other things in my life that may be more important. And I'm finding that now I'm like, dang, I should have found more balance. Obviously, lesson learned, but I want to know the other side of the coin of your ambition.
Ambition to me, I'm overthinking a song. You said ambition. The Wale song "Ambition" came into my head.
I'm literally talking to a boombox right now.
You are, and I'm just like, I'm fucking rapping the verse. I'm like, she's gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? But anyway, but no, I think everybody gets tired. We're human. You know, I'm gonna get tired. There are days I don't want to get up and write. I've been putting this book off for a minute now, but it's just like, what do you want to do at the end of the day? What do you want to succeed? My main thing is I don't want to leave this earth and regret anything. I don't want to look back at 80, 90 years old and be like, I should have did that. I should have did that.
Yeah.
Like, for what? Like, go ahead and do it. And I'm sorry, I'm shifting. Go ahead and do it, and then look back and say, I did that. And that's pretty much like how I feel like about these blessings and these experiences I had. Like, I performed in Puerto Rico. Like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I got that call, I was like, you want me to wait, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, ambition is priceless. It is like, if you have it, it will transform you and transcend you to wherever you want to go. Like, sitting here, and I have this on the background of my phone, it's like, the fact that you're not where you want to be should be motivation enough to hustle, to grind, to have that ambition. So if you're not where you want to be, if you're not making the money you want to be, if you're not with the girl you want to be with, and if you're not at the house you want to be in, like, you have that on your own personal ambition to go ahead and do it, and you owe it to yourself, because like, why would you want to have a mediocre life? I have a friend, and she's married to a guy, and she told him, she came to him and she said, I've created a 6-month plan for us to get out of debt, to increase our finances, and for us to move into a house by the beginning of 2021. And he was like, what you mean? Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, don't you want more? And he's like, what more do you want? I said, I almost hung up the phone. I said, he did not just ask you. So he's content for the rest of his life being in a 1-bedroom apartment, 1.5 bedroom apartment, sitting on the couch in his drawers playing video games every day.
Yeah.
That's not ambition. That's not life. And if you don't have ambition to continue to grow, and like you said, like, you feel like you gotta grow, you gotta get out of this box, you gotta expand. Like I said, I gotta let that lion loose, because if you don't, you're gonna live with regrets. And for what? It's like, there's just no point in regrets. Like, live your best life. Like, I shoot my shot to the fine females that I find attractive. What's the worst? And that's why I tell people, what is the worst thing that can happen? You're in the exact same situation.
Exact same spot. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so next, keep it moving. Like, but you just gotta do you and have that ambition and bring forth. Like I said, you can do whatever you want to do and bring forth the vision that you have for yourself. So, do I get tired? Yes, I get tired. I get dragged. Like I said, I don't have kids, but my god kids, like today, one of them, she's 2. She just turned 2, and she going to call and FaceTime me, and I'm going to go over there and I'm going to get my snuggles later. But, you know, that's just time that I, like, set aside for me to, like, decompress and just be in the moment and not focused on the 20 million emails that I get, you know, asking me to speak, asking me to perform, asking for me to write a book, write the song. Like, my brain is like always on 100 million tabs going on at the same time, literally and figuratively. But what do I want to see? And it's more than what I have right now, and I know I'm going to get it.
Yeah. And do you ever find yourself like, does your ambition ever play into your relationships and your friendships? Like, have you ever had friends that aren't as ambitious, or your partner who isn't as ambitious? And how do you deal with that? Because I'm honestly asking, like, big sis, like, this is the problem I have. Like, I don't, you know, my friends and the friends I've had, it was always a conflict because I would get frustrated with, like, that's it, that's all, you know. And I'm like, if we're going to be in company with each other, I want more for us, you know what I mean? But if that's something you don't want, then I don't know if this is gonna work. You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm trying to build something, but if you chill where you're at, that's fine. But, like, I don't know if that's something I can keep pouring into. And then same with my relationships. I'm like, I'm over here, like, I'm trying to build something. It's like, that's cool with you. I was like, that's not enough for me. You know what I mean? There's this level of dissatisfaction for me. And so I guess I'm curious if that happens for you too, and, like, how do you deal with that, especially coming from, you know, background and faith too. Like, I'm legit asking for advice right now because that's the one thing I'm struggling with. So please, preach. I'm here to listen.
In regards to your friendships, acquaintances, or, you know, best friend, whatever, in regards to your friendships, if they do not support you, I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm saying if they do not support your dream and your ambitions, or they talk down about your ambitions, that is not the person to have in your life. Point blank, period. I've had friends that, I know people say, oh, when your circle gets smaller or whatever, you know, that's the great thing. And it is true. Everybody around me, they support me. The person that films my music videos, because obviously I'm in the music video, I'm one of my best friends. She films the video. And, like, I called her earlier. I was like, hey, I want to shoot, and I got everything together. Can we shoot next Saturday? I know you got a kid, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'll drop them off at my mom's. I got you. That's the kind of friend that you need. And I'm not saying, I have another friend, she might not hold the camera. I mean, she will if I probably ask, but she purchases every book that I have. She streams every song that I have. And, like, I'm not saying that it's all about monetary and what you can do for me, but if you have ambition and you have a goal and you're working towards a goal, and I literally have friends, I can sit here and go through Instagram. I literally have personal friends that I know, hey, can you do this? Come pick me up on the side of the road. If they can't pick you up on the side of the road, they can't support your dreams, they don't need to be in your life. Point blank, period. And it's not being selfish, but like you just said, I know that I'm ambitious. I want better for me, and I'm learning credit, and you know, I'm saving money aside. I'm putting music out. Like, if I'm bettering me, I'm gonna naturally say, hey, what's your credit looking like? Let's do this. Let's have a competition. Like, I think back in December, one of my best friends out in Dallas, like, I was getting my credit up, and she was like, dog, I need to do this. I'm like, dog, just let me know. I was like, I'll write the letter for you. Like, and I'll email it to you to ship it off. Like, it's just, if you don't have that connection with people, they don't need to be in your circle. And that's just from a period, because, like I said, y'all don't have to do the same thing, but you should have the same energy or whatever around, even if they are content where they're at, if they are, if they support you, they love you, period, as a person. If you love them as a person, that's great. And you can love somebody and they don't have to be sitting here and doing the same thing that you're doing. And that goes back to the relationship thing. I literally had one girl that I was talking to. She literally sat here and she said, "Oh, you're." I think she literally said that I'm too ambitious for her.
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." I
Yeah.
still talk to her like as a friend, like she cool. But it's just like I'm not going to sit here and downplay my greatness because you're intimidated by it. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And like, what do you say? Like, I'm not going to dim my light just because you think it's too bright.
Yeah.
It's actually too bright right now, but we'll talk about it later.
I appreciate the good lighting. Thank you.
But like, that crazy. And then like, I think what I did was I told her, I was like, oh, I think I was editing my book or about to send it off. Something with my book. And she was like, oh, you just do a lot. And that's too much for me. I didn't ask you to write it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't understand this conversation to this day. Whenever I think about it, I'm like, I didn't ask you to write it. I didn't ask you to read it. I didn't ask you to help me with the cover art. Like, I didn't ask you to do anything. So how does my ambition and my effort and my energy and my dreams upsetting you? Like, so, but like, you just have to, and I've also, on the flip side, I've also had my last 2 relationships. They supported me. I think my second to last one, I was going into school to get my master's and stuff. And like, she was supporting me and I was supporting her. She was going to school to be a nurse. Like, it was a mutual relationship, and we were planning for the future and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have your own goals. If you're going to be in a relationship, have your own goals personally, then have your goals as a relationship. Going back to my friend, like I said, like, she was like, well, this is the game plan for us to move into a house. That affected the whole family. So for us to get out of debt, that affected the whole family. And then she decided that she wanted to go to real estate school in a couple of months. Within that 6 months, she's already in it now, to put this plan into motion. And, like, that was her own personal goal to make this come true. And the fact that you sit here as my husband and, and you don't want to do better, like, that is something that she's really struggling with right now. Because obviously they're married. She can't just be like, oh, you ain't got ambition, I'm divorcing you. Like, and some people are late bloomers than others. Like, he didn't like the plan at first, and now he's coming around to it. But then at the same time, she's like, okay, well, I'm still going to real estate school. What are you going to do to better yourself? Or, you're going to get a second job? What is the plan on your side to help the family as a whole? So I just think as a relationship, if you are going to have dreams and ambitions and goals, your significant other needs to support them. I'm not saying that they need to, they don't need to write. I don't need somebody to sit here and write songs with me. But if I'm sitting here, my problem is a major problem I have. My problem is if I'm sitting here working, I forget to eat sometimes. And so, like, and I'll be like, oh, I need to eat. But like, if you know that I'm working on something, have your own thing going on and bring me a plate of food, something small like that, like acts of service or whatever. That's my love language. But just have that kind of energy where it's like, I support you no matter what you're doing. You support me. We come together. We killing the shit. Like, that's what any relationship is supposed to be, friendship or romantic wise. Like, do your thing. And we're not all supposed to be the same. Whenever they say that God broke the mold, he literally made one of you and said, next, make a whole other one. Like, say stamp. Like, it's not like that. So we're all going to have different things that we love to do. But if you can find those people in your life that are going to love you and support you genuinely and be there for you to support you, like, then keep them around. But those other people that are just like, why are you writing books? Why are you reading? Because like I said, my books are Christian. And yes, I'm singing about over here doing whatever. It's like, I'm a multifaceted person. No person is one thing. So I can do whatever I want to do. And if you don't support that, I mean, kick rocks. So
I think my thing is like, let me know if I'm incorrect. Tell me your strategy how to do this differently, because what I'm doing is not working. We talked about the L word when we first got the chance to talk to each other, right? Yeah. And I'm going to blame the L word for this vision for myself. I blame the L word wholeheartedly for this. And I also blame the Avengers wholeheartedly for this. I'll tell you why. Because I have this vision for myself that I have a group of friends that are like the L words, like whether it's old L word or new L word, but you have a Bet who's like running some awesome museum. You know what I mean? You have Shane being a fuckboy, but still is cutting hair with some dope people. You know, you have Alice, who's now a talk show host. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. I'm not asking for my friends to all be interested in the same things. I just want them to be so dope and so passionate about what they do that it's just so inspiring being around them. You know what I mean? Like, or Dana, rest in peace, Dana, was a tennis player. You know what I mean? But and like they, you know, but they'll go to the planet and they'll have their coffee and they'll talk about their bullshit. You know what I mean? But like, you know, at the end of the day, like they're all dope as shit. They're doing cool things in their own industries, but they're able to have this loving, supportive friendship and relationship with each other and support each other in their journey. And I feel like for me, it's just not, I don't know what I'm doing incorrectly. I don't know if I'm not in the right space, right place, or what's going on. But like, I have this vision of having an L word Avengers of friends. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, help me out. What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Talk to me.
Now on. I'm sorry. Okay. Again, that goes back to the same last thing I just said. Keep your circle small. Because like you said, the L word.
Small? That's like 5 people. I got a shade. I got a bet. You know what I mean?
Keep your circle small. People that actually support you and love you. And but I'm just like, it's hilarious. I don't know. Like, I have a friend that's a business analyst. I have friends that are like film directors. I have film, like, it's just.
So maybe I just need to put myself in that place area. I mean, maybe I was just.
You join my Avenger team if you want.
Maybe it was just Arizona, man. Maybe it just the ambition got burnt out of them or something. I don't know what it was, but.
Well, it's 106 here in Texas, but I mean, I don't know, like. Like, I just feel like my friends are supportive. Now, I will tell you this: do not stick around people just for the fact that you've known them for so many years. I literally cut off a friend that I've known for half my life. So, like, we met when I was 16, and I stopped talking to her at 32. So,
wow.
But you have to realize and sit back and think. Like, I had to think that, you know, she's just taking from me. And I'm not getting anything in return. And it wasn't anything monetarily wise. It was just time and effort and energy. Like, I went to her graduation. She didn't come to any of mine. Like, I was there, you know, for her baby shower and stuff. I was there doing this and this. Like, I can list 20 million things I've done for this child. But I can't tell you the last time she came down here to hang out with me or anything. And we were in Houston and Austin are like 2 hours apart. Yeah. So and then for a drive to, like, you know, do whatever. So I'm just like, if I can drive all the time, and even whenever she did come to Austin, she didn't put in effort. You only want to see me around other people. It wasn't just us hang out. So I was like, what is the purpose of this? There is no purpose. I need you to go. Like, I need to cleanse my aura, cleanse my space. I have Sage over here. I need you to be gone. So, but it's just like, get your friends and that support you, that love you. And I don't know, like, I can see that, like, the L word being the catalyst for my group of friends too. But I don't have, and I tell people this all the time, like, Cam, you saw Cam? I think one of the reasons I started reaching out to Cam to hang out was because I didn't have any other masculine presenting, lesbian, queer, whatever you want to call yourself, said friends here. Like, most of my friends are straight women, straight men, or I hang out with gay guys, or the lesbians I hang out with are femmes. I didn't have any shays. I was like, can I get a me? Like, that was the reason why I started hanging out with Cam and stuff. And my other best friend that does look like me, she lives in Dallas, and that's a good about 4-hour drive, 3 to 4 hour drive. So I was like, let me hang out with somebody, you know, here, and you know, that's been cool, you know, to do that. But it's just like like you saw, Cam has her own thing going on, and that's cool. And we've talked about ways to help each other. But see, like, I think Cam and I really, like, develop a real friendship, I think, within the past month, 2 months. But the fact that I'm giving her value, she's giving me value, we listen to each other, like, care or whatever. Like, if she called me right now, like, hey, I need you to pick me up on the side of the road, like, cool, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have people that can pick you up on the side of the road at 3 o'clock in the morning, they don't need to be in your life. Like, point blank, period. If you can't bounce business ideas off of them and they give you honest feedback and not be jealous, they don't need to be in your life. Like, you need to have people that are going to build you up regardless. So it's not really about the friends, it's about the quality of it. It's not about the numbers, the quality. And like, yeah, that would be cool. I miss going out. Like, I think I went to a brunch with one of my friends, Sheldon, and it was nice to sit on a patio. I know COVID, but it was just nice to sit on the patio and get drinks delivered to me. And I'm like, oh my God, I missed you. Like, but it's just like, it's just the quality of the friendship. And even whenever I was there with him, I sat there and we were talking business. I'm like, what's going on in your life, my life, whatever. What can I help you with? What can you help me with? Cool. After that, we got that out the way. What's going on? Who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. But it's just like, it's the quality of your friendships and who you have in your circle. And yeah, like it's hard to have that ambition and balance it. Like, cause I disappear. And my people know, like, if I disappear, I'm working on stuff. It doesn't mean I love you any less. It doesn't mean I don't want to be around you any less. But I have a dream, I have a goal, I have a passion. And if I don't feed it, nobody else will.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of masculine of center friends, why do you think we don't find friendship in each other often? Like, I know, like, it's out there, but like in general, you know, like I've noticed sometimes competition is just pure competition.
Competition. I dealt in that, and that was the reason why I didn't have many stud friends, because it was basically, it's a pissing contest. That's just all it was. And I had to get out of that mentality. I'm like, I'm grown now. We need to stop. Like, going to the clubs when I was 18, 19, you know, the ratio of stud to femme was low. So it's like, you know, oh, that's so-and-so or whatever. And she dates so-and-so, or I got to compete with her or whatever. Well, she don't want to look like me. What, you know, like, it's really weird. It's like,
very weird.
It's a contest for guys, because guys don't typically do that. I don't know. They might. I don't know. But it's like, you know, guys can bond over. They go to a bar. They bond over sports or some shit. Like, we go and we hang out or whatever. Like, again, I'm learning now. I'm starting to get more acquaintances and friends now. But like before, it was like, no, like, you want, and that was my thing. Everybody thinks you, excuse my language, but everybody thinks you want their bitch. That's basically what it comes down to. That's basically what it comes down to. We're all, at the end of the day, we're all women. Okay?
Oh
Like, at the end of the day. So I really think, like, studs are like, you want my bitch. You can't have a bitch. Don't talk to that bitch. Like, no. Now I got to tell all of my friends not to talk to your ass. Like, it's too much. Like, but now that I'm older and I feel like everybody else is getting older, it's just like, bro, this is stupid as shit. So
really,
I think this is what the young stud relationship, while we don't have any close friendships or bonds in that area, because it's like, it's a pissing contest for no fucking reason.
And I think that's definitely something I want to push, is like letting the next generation know, like, it don't gotta be like that. And I think if anything, what's so cool about folks like us is that you get hella balance. You want to go work out, great. You want to go to spa, I still want to go to the spa with you. You know what I mean? Or like, it's just such more eclectic things that we can do, as opposed to
the nail salon. Though I will tell you that I can't stand vanilla acetone. It upsets me.
Some of them do, though. Some of them, you know what I mean. You just gotta find your right one, and I think that's definitely what's missing. You know, because I found myself always having just straight girlfriends or whatever, and so I felt like there's something missing. Like, I need someone that, like, someone who we can relate to on more levels than just one. You know what I mean? Like, we can talk about your boyfriend all day, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm really tired of talking about your boyfriend. You know, like, there's just so many other things, you know? So
break up with him.
That's literally end of story, period. Just break up with him, because that's why Shay's gonna steal you away from him anyway. So what's the problem? So let's move. Go ahead.
My friend earlier, like, we bonded over the L word in college, because she was the only one that had cable. So like, you know, I had that friend to go buy, you know, clothes with, and, you know, the tall tees and whatever, and figure out who the hell I wanted to be with somebody. That's why, like, you know, she's my best friend, but like I said, she's in Dallas. But it's just like, you have to have that synergy, that energy with someone that you can connect with who you are as a stud or a person or whatever, you know, that masculine energy. You can have that person to bounce that off of. Because like you said, like, yeah, I have the majority of my friends are straight. Like, we talk about their dudes and stuff or whatever all the time, but I'm with you. Like, okay, like, I want to talk about what's important to me. Like, not that I don't, but it's just like, I want you to care on a different level, but it's just, it is what it is. So like, you just take it.
And I think that's another thing that, though, if we do come in company with each other, I think it's important to not perpetuate that toxic masculinity, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think what's missing in a lot of our community is that we're not knowing how to show up for each other in a healthy way, not knowing how to call each other out in a healthy way, you know what I mean? And how to not perpetuate what's already been put on like our femme friends, you know what I mean? Like our femme presenting women and stuff, and just femme folks in general, you know? And I think it's like recognizing that masculinity is a privilege in this patriarchy, and just like realizing like it's, you know, it's one of those privileges that we can use to our advantage to help, you know, help those who don't, you know, who don't have it obviously in their face, you know what I mean? So I think that's like one thing that I know that I need to work on, and need to just want to have those conversations about how we can show up for our femme friends and folks in general, and how we can not like perpetuate toxic bullshit. You know what I mean?
The fact that you have this platform, and the fact that you even want to, on a personal level, just reach out to people and just squash the negativity, and just actually, you literally want to help them and be that guiding light to peace and understanding, and for help them find their inner self. Like, that's a beautiful thing. And I don't think you should ever let anybody take that away from you or make you feel that like you're doing something wrong, because you're not. And we need more people like that, because at the end of the day, like, who do we have within ourselves that know each other? Like, like I said, like, my friends know that I'm gay, and I'm pretty much the only gay one in the group, but they don't know all the struggles that I go through. Like, okay. Open conversation where we're having, like one time, like, you know, my friends are like, oh, when are you gonna buy like bras like this and isn't it? That's not the kind of person that I am. I'm gonna rock my sports bras, leave me the hell alone. Like, you're not gonna have me like, what does it look like? My hard ass coming up with my fitted and shit, you know what I'm saying? My shredded jeans, I'm like, you know, got my chain on, like, yo, baby, looks good, you know, holla. And then, you know, but some people do that, but that's not me. Like,
they do, yeah, no.
So I'm just like, but if they don't accept you, they don't even understand how hard it is for even us to even go into these stores,
right?
Looking at how we look, to even buy, you know, our regular stuff that we have to buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, you get teased for like normal shit, like, you know, having your cycle or whatever. You know, it's just different from our point of view. You know, but it's just everyday stuff to them. So it's just, it's nice to have, like you said, like those people around that are understanding, and the fact that you want to reach out to other people and be like, I'm here to talk, that I'm here to listen, and that I'm here and I want to share this platform with y'all or whatever. So like you said, the person in Iowa that's, you know, 16, they don't have any, you know, body to look up to or whatever, that they can actually watch this. That is awesome. Like, and I really appreciate you doing this. I really do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you for being a part of it, you know. Yeah, and so I want them to know. So let's go back to this ambition really quick. Let's round it off with all the things that you've been able to accomplish during this quarantine. You're over here writing Christian books. You're over here just writing books in general. Like, and you're still making music, and you have been making music videos, and you're doing a whole bunch of other stuff I don't even know. So let's just shed some light on that really quick, because I thought my ambition was somewhere, and I was like, shit. But it's like that healthy competition, right? I'm working on it. It's taking some time. But, you know, like, I think that's like that fun and dope shit that's like, I want to see people, like, that's that healthy competition that I want. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like who's better, who's worse, whatever. It's just like, oh, shit, you got all that done during quarantine? Like, damn, well, I worked on my fucking inner healings, you know what I mean? I worked on that trauma. You know what I mean?
But that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole quarantine, everybody's like, and I tell people, I literally had this conversation last night. I said, everybody's going to sit here and be like, they're always like, oh, 2020 sucks, blah, blah, blah. 2020 is going to be a year that I look back and I'm like, damn, like, I elevated the shit out of myself out of this year, because the world slowed down. You can't concentrate on healing and your trauma and what really bothers you, and actually go to therapy and do whatever you need to do to heal yourself, and like, and research or whatever, because you have the time now. You're at home. Like, people have to work and stuff, but you're at home and you have the time now to concentrate on what really bothers you. Can hear yourself.
Right.
And that's the main thing. I think I heard myself. Like, I can't really show this, but I don't want to rip it down either. But I have a whiteboard right here, and it is literally my 2019 goals. Hold on.
Show it to us.
over
there
there.
it is. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So those are my 2019 goals. And that little black box at the bottom, those were the 2020 goals.
Uh-huh.
The funny thing about that whole board, and I keep it up there because it makes me laugh. And again, it's one of my affirmations from God, is the fact that I wrote this stuff down at the beginning of 2019. And
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, and 4 of them came true.
Yeah. In 2019 or in 2020?
But within the span of 2019 and 2020, they all kind of came true. So I'll tell people it's like technically, I'm unemployed. Okay, technically. But here's the thing: last year I said that I wanted to tithe more. This year, 2020. Okay, so the thing about it is, I've been unemployed since January. I have tithed over $8,000 from there to now. I've had money. It's 10% of your income. I've done so much, like filming for other people, doing side gigs, my books, my music. I've done so much that I have been able this entire time to sustain myself and to tithe more. And a lot of times, like, people, you know, come up with me and I have random people that hit me up and they're like, oh, I want to buy your books or whatever. Where can I find them? Randomly, I'll get these messages. And from people I know and don't know. So my thing is, like, my grandmother told me that she told some random people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really random. But the fact of the matter is, like, I have been able to sustain myself doing my art, and this has been my life. This has been my business. I actually I've worked so much I was able to pay for it and go get my LLC and get everything together. So the thing is, like, nothing is stopping me. And the fact that I look up here and I see that things have happened with my work and without, like, I know that somebody's watching me and I know I'm on the right track. So like, my goals for this year is like one of them is to buy a house. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. So I'm just like, that's my thing right now. It's just like, with this quarantine and this 2020, sit down, write down your goals. Even if it is, oh, I can't start my new year. It's not a resolution. It's a goal. It's a plan. Like, what do you want to see? And then work backwards from there. Like, it really is. Like, I was like, on top of my music, I was like, well, I also like business coaching. That's where my Christian business books came from. I was like, I like to help people with business. So why don't I just mesh the two, put it out there, see what happens. Now I'm on Audible, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere. I'm been asked to speak. Like, people find my books on their own. Like, I'm not running a lot of ads like that. So I'm just like, bruh, like, whatever you want to do, you can do it. And it's just, I don't want people to think, I saw this meme too, I don't want people to think that just because everybody else is hustling and getting that coin and getting that bag and stuff, that you have to. The fact that if you can sit there, like you said, and heal from some trauma or start going to therapy or become sober or whatever your own personal goal is, the fact if you can start doing that, you've won. You won. You achieve some stuff. Like, don't let the internet make you think that you just have to be doing something to achieve it. But that's just my ambition. I know the life I want. I know that I want to continue this and I want it to grow, like, and I want to speak and I want to perform. Like, I love performing and I miss it. Like, just hopping around a stage and just showing my energy and feeling that energy back from people is great. Everybody's like, oh, do something online. That's great. That's fun. But I'm in my house. like I want that energy where I actually feel people and talk to people and, you know, and this, you know, feed my ego. I don't give a shit. Like, I like that shit. So I just feel like, you know, 2020 has been a great year for me. And I just feel like it was a time for everybody to slow down and to listen and to figure out what God wants for them and what you want for you too. Like, just how I feel.
I love that. And I love that. I don't know. I think 2020 showing up differently for a lot of people. And speaking of that, I have an idea. So I'm talking to you, just talking to you, because I think this is like the one thing I want with Tomboy Talks. Is like, we literally just talking, just a conversation. It's banter. I think every time, like, I text him, like, thanks for chatting. I'm like, no, this is like straight up banter. I came up with an idea while sitting here, thinking of that Avengers Club, right? And I just like I even have like this cool vision of a commercial of like seeing these young tomboys like playing on a playground, us when we were playing on the playground, and then we realized that we were different from the other girls and different from the boys. You know what I mean? Um, for some weird reason, I imagine like a tomboy going into the girls' restroom, into this one stall particularly, and for whatever reason, Narnia is in there, and they go into it, and it's a whole place of a whole bunch of tomboys running around and playing and growing up and being badass. I don't know why, but I could just imagine like filming these children, these little tomboy children, like just how cool that's gonna be for them to like see in the future. Anyways, so we'll have to talk about that in the future. I'm like, funny place if you.
I can. We'll work on that later. That'll be a short film, a commercial I can do for you. There you go.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, it would definitely be obviously a commercial for Tomboy International, the program or whatever. So I'm thinking now, how cool it would be. Well, I want to know about your goals first. Like, what are the rest of the goals that you need to check off for the rest of the year? What have you checked off? Let's give some people some clarity. What did you get the chance to check off for 2020 so far, and what do you have left to check off for the last 4 months? Talk to us.
I've written 3 books this year. One of them is called You Belong. It's a story dedicated to my second goddaughter. She's kind of the little short one in the group, so I made a little Christian story about an ant and how he was important to be on the ark too. So no matter how small or insignificant you think you are, you're important too. So I made that for her. I made 2 Christian books. One is about leadership and one's about some 5 keys to job promotions. Because in my last in my last employer, I received 6 promotions in 10 years with one company. So I figured I pretty much cracked the code on how to get promotions and what you need to learn. So I pretty much put that all in a book, in an audio book, and that's up right now. And the other one is about leadership, and I was a pro supervisor for many years, so I put that in a book. There you go. And what else I do? I went back because I put out therapy session October 2019 on Halloween. And so I never did the thing that's on here is to put out EP with videos. I put the EP out. I needed to go put the videos with it. So that I was like, well, since that's on this board, let's go ahead and do it. And so with that increased some of my streams on Spotify, my followers and stuff like that. So I went ahead and did that, put out 3. And my friend Tiff has like recorded every last one of them. She has like saw my vision and I've edited them and everything else, but she's been really helpful and stuff. So shout out to Tiff. That was my videos. Then I was like, okay, well, what's my next project? I've been learning more and more about the Spotify algorithm, whatever, you know what I mean? And even now, I think this week, I realized that Google Play is going away. And it's going to actually just be because Google owns YouTube, and they didn't figure out what's the point of having both YouTube Music and Google Play. So it's now just YouTube Music. So I'm learning that. So with that being said, whenever I learn new things, I test them out, obviously. So with this next single, How I Stole Your Girl, I'm going to primarily push a lot of people to YouTube Music to hop on that trend. And everybody's still going to Spotify, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. And then I already have, like I said, next Saturday we're filming the video for it, but the video is probably going to come out to mid-September, but the song drops on the 1st. And the song and the lyric video drop on the 1st. So there's that. And then, but the second single that I'm putting out in October, I am so excited. Like, I know, what is today's date? Today's the 21st, Friday the 21st, August 21st, 2020. I'm telling you right here, right now, I'm telling you that's going to go viral.
Yeah, that's the one?
I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Like, and everybody's telling me, they're like, put it out. I'm like, nah, I gotta wait.
Yeah.
Because I feel honestly like I'm waiting because I want to see how this whole YouTube Music thing plays out. So I know where to actually start sending all my traffic to, honestly. Yeah. So, but yeah, that one, that's going to be the one. But my thing is next couple of months is, I think once a month, I want to drop a song and drop a video. That is my game plan. Hopefully I'm gonna stick to it. It might be a month in between, but and I want to drop the album on my birthday. My birthday is Valentine's Day. Oh. What is this? So I'll put out the next 4, 5, 6 months. We're just one single at a time, and then on my birthday drop the video. The album. And I think that's kind of poignant, the fact that it's Valentine's Day and the name of the album is How I Stole Your Girl. I thought it was nice. Like, so that is my, yes, just perfect. So that's my game plan for 2020, 2021. Book-wise, I started to go with the business side. I have a conflict resolution book that I'm in the middle of writing right now, so I got to finish that. Then Shay CEO, because all those are underneath my government name. This one, the next book is going to be under Shay CEO, and it's called April Showers, and it's basically about a lesbian who falls in love with her therapist. So, and she's on trial for murder. But we'll talk about that at a different time.
Hopefully that's not a true story.
No. Hell, I don't know.
I know, I was like, is it?
I'm like, from my mind, it's not like all the stuff that I'm coming up with. But I already sent part of that book off to a publisher, so I am kind of seeing how that goes, because all my other books have been self-published and they've been doing great. But I want to see what it's like to have them back it and stuff. So that's about to be interesting. So that's going to be coming up. That's all I got right now.
That's all I got. There's nothing.
Okay, so September 1st, How I Stole Your Girl, the single is dropping, and the podcast is dropping too. So
yes, the podcast.
Relationship advice for men from a lesbian perspective. So that's where that's coming from. So
yes, I love that. I love that. I low-key, I'm a little upset that you're coming out with that podcast, because that's some treasure golden stuff. I legit, I remember I made a video with an ex about how to get, I think it says, this is so shallow, how to get a hot girl, because I have a nice track record. I was like, I'm just going to tell you how to do this real quick. And then it had 5,000 views, and I realized this is some bullshit. I was like, I'm going to shut this video down. I don't know why. It made me feel like, I don't know, I kind of felt like I exploited her, but I don't know how I felt. I felt some types of way. I was like, I'm just going to shut this down. But I thought it's some secret stuff. Now you're going to put it all out there. You're going to put our business out there. You'll be telling everybody our secrets. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, it's not really our secrets, because honestly, women are more nurturing than men in general.
Yeah.
We are. So if I could help you do some of the littlest things, like when your girl says more, don't say what more do you want, like that.
So what am I supposed to say?
Stuff, cause I feel that guys and I am gonna have, on occasion, I'm gonna have some guys come in. I've already discussed that, but I feel that guys are they're stuck. They just think oh, I put the dick down and I pay for stuff, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's other stuff that comes along with being in a relationship, like loyalty, trust. I should be able to talk to you, I should feel loved and wanted, regular shit. And then whenever me, I come around and I'm dropping food off that she didn't even have to tell me that she liked, or I made a whole pack. She said her favorite color was orange, so I got orange Starburst, orange Skittles, orange, just little shit like that. If you put on Insta, it's just little things to pay attention to. If the girl you like sits there and is like, oh, I just love a nice macchiato from Starbucks, DoorDash that shit over to her house, bro. It's little shit.
Right.
So, if I can help, it's relationship advice for men to help them, but it's really for the ladies. I'm trying to help y'all. I know, I hear, I know. Like I said, the majority of my friends are straight, so I'm I hear the madness. It's okay, so you not gonna leave him, okay?
Right.
But you ain't gonna do better. So this is just a toxic situation. So if I can help in some kind of way, shape it, because honestly, this podcast is a spinoff from an old podcast that I was doing that I started as well. So this was the original podcast idea, but then I ended up doing what I call What Women Want Wednesday. And it was relationship advice from 4 women from 4 different sexual preferences. So I had a straight one, a bi one, and I was gay. And I had a friend of mine, she calls herself heteroflexible. So she said she wouldn't date a girl, but she'll sleep with one. So I was like, okay. And that's actually, if you Google it, that's an actual term, heteroflexible.
I'm sure it is.
I like it. So the thing is it's for the guys, it's for the women, but it's really, I just want to help foster love and energy, like whether that be romantic love, like even if it's my music, like I talk shit in my music and I have romantic songs too, but I just want people to love each other in any shape, form, or fashion. So.
I love that. And I think that's, again, the thing that I really want us to know, like, as folks who have that dual energy, like you're able to, hey, yo, dude, you messing up. Girl, I'm going to help you out right now because I'm going to coach this guy on how to love you better because, I do it, but, I got other people to take care of right now. I honestly, and I think that's, like, one thing I'm very curious about and I need to do more research on. But we have always existed. You know what I mean? Like, our beings have always existed in villages and things like that. And since we, most of us can't have kids just on the whim, we over here taking care of everybody else's stuff. And so what would you do if you didn't have your own coaches? That's what we're called nowadays. Coaches and therapists, psychologists and mediators and messengers and all these things. Because we have the beautiful duality of everything and all things. You know what I mean? And being able to connect with anybody. And I feel like, going back to Adventures, that's our superpower. You know what I mean? It's truly being able to connect to many people on many levels. You know what I mean? And I think that's for me. And I'm going to tell you this, to be honest with you. I remember in 2017, I was going through a rough time. And I was hiking every night. And I was like, and that was the time, like, I started talking to God. And it was just like me and him time. That's all we did. I just hiked for like 30 minutes in the nighttime. I don't know what I was thinking now that I really think about it. Because, like, there's snakes. I don't know what was out there. It was like a paved hike. But still, we're still in the desert on this mountain. But long story short, I remember God came to me and he's like, I made you that way for a reason. He's like, I even made you to look so young for a reason so the kids would actually listen to you and don't think you're just some old ass, some old ass person that don't know what they're talking about. He's like, I made you so you're able to connect with guys. I made you so you can connect with girls. And I made you so you can connect with folks of color on the breadth. I made you to be able to connect with all the queer folks on the spectrum. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I made you be able to connect with everybody on some level, at some form, first impression, whatever the case. There's not one thing that you're not able to connect on. You know what I mean? And so I think, like, that's what I realized. Like, he's like, that's your superpower. Right. Like, that's why I created you. Because I need you to be able to connect the world that is so divided right now. And not only that, I need you to empower and help other folks like yourself to realize that superpower. Because, like we talked about, a lot of us sometimes are thinking, oh, the world is against us because we're this, and that. But in reality, that's really the one thing that is gonna, is really the superpower that's gonna bring everything together. And so if we can only empower more of us to be those leaders in our community, that's what's gonna start breaking those generational chains in so many different ways, not just in our families, but in our friendships, in our communities, and our personal love for ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm reaching out to y'all to show what great examples of people who are actually doing it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want this next generation to come up and feel as lost as they have been. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, as us as millennials, I still fucking feel lost sometimes every day. I can only imagine what this next one is looking like when they have so many messages that are bombarding them, And in fact, the mere version of being able to see someone that looks like them and see how they're living their truth and living their life to the best of their ability, that's the least I can do, is just show examples of what I feel like might be best for the future generation. You know what I mean? Right. So that's really...
I love that. I really love that. Like, you literally, like, I'm shaking my head because, like, you literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, we were created, I was created, we were all created, like, as this conundrum to show that it can work. I tell people all the time, I was like, pandas are black and white and Asian, and everybody loves them. like they're everything. Like, who doesn't love a panda?
Doesn't love a panda.
So, but it's just like you said, like, I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm gay, I'm a Christian. Like, oh my God, like, I'm so many things. But it's like, because I am these things, I can speak to these things, and I can show you that it's okay. We're one. Like, we can live in peace. We can live in honestly, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. And my favorite thing to tell people also is, God used Rahab. She was a prostitute. She was a prostitute in the Bible, okay? And, like, she used her, and she blessed her and everything else. And I'm like, if he can use a prostitute, he can use my gay ass. Like, what the hell? Like, so I'm like, just do you, live you, and don't worry about what other people think about you. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you're out here, you the whoever's gonna watch this in the future, like, you're out here, you're living life. It's hard. We get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, nobody can do it like you. It's not the weight of the burdens, it's how you carry it. And like, I've had people that have called me out of my name and called me a dyke and faggot and all this other shit. And like, it doesn't matter, because that's hate in their heart, is not in mine, and I'm still living my blessed life over here. So like, what are you doing? Like, oh, okay. Like, so don't worry about what other people say or think about you, because you were created the way you are, like you said, to bring attention, awareness, and love to people that look like us. And not even just us, just like you said, like, we're on the spectrum. Like, we can talk to the straight girls or the guys and everything else, and plus the queer community. Like, we can do all of that. We're all encompassing. And like, the fact that we're comfortable, and it gives them hope. They're like, oh, I don't have to worry about God take this away from me. Because there's another, what's the guy, Paul, in the Bible, he had a thorn. He didn't say what it was. The thorn was a problem that he had. And he kept asking God to take it away from him. Like, I want to be better, but take this away from me. And he was like, my grace is sufficient enough for you. Like, you'll be all right. Like, I made you that way, and I gave you that problem for a reason. So, you know, so you could depend on me and rely on me to love me, and I can love you for your flaws and everything else. So it's like, I'm not the person. I never did. I think I did once. I really was not that person that's like, oh, I'm gonna pray the gay away, and that wasn't me. Like, I'm who I want to be. The only person I was probably like scared of was my mama, but outside of that, it was like, I never just sat here and was like, oh guys, don't let me be gay anymore, because I can't help who I love. I can't. I tried. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that we need to realize is, like, there's no better time to be human. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely think this is a different conversation for survival 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever that may be. I mean, and to be transparent with you, maybe it was never always this messed up. Maybe there's villages and communities of folks like us that were fully accepted. I know in like indigenous culture and tribes, like, they like, oh, y'all, like, you two-spirit, y'all, like, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't, I think that's like recognizing in this world that we're currently living in, like, there's still no better time to like be human right now, especially with what's going on right now. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I apologize again for the time difference, but like, the fact that we're even able to do this right now, you know what I mean, is just crazy. So I love going back to, ambition and going for it, and using quarantine as an opportunity to learn about ourselves and to do the things that we've always done, and just keep pushing forward, and really just living out our truth. I think that's the best thing that we can do, So continue to connect those dots and connect each other and spread all that love and be ourselves and all that good stuff, So
I just feel like people gravitate towards genuine and honesty. You know what I'm saying? Like, you like, Gary, everybody likes Gary Vee because he's Gary Vee. He's going to cuss you out. He's going to do whatever, but that's him. Like, and that attracts people to him. Billy Jean, he's a marketing guy. Same thing. He's going to cuss you the hell out, and he doesn't give a shit, because it's just like his genuine personality. So if I can be genuinely my gay ass Christian self, then like, it's going to attract people. So just be your authentic self. Like, people are going to talk shit people are going to talk about you whether you do it and whether you don't do it, whether you dress like this or whether you don't. Everybody's going to talk about you. You might as well do what the hell you want to do in the meantime. Yeah. You ain't hurting nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shay,
yes,
thank you so much. I appreciate your time and for waiting for me while I was dealing with my trauma and my therapy session. Where can these folks find you, speaking of that, so they can fall in love with you too?
You can follow me on Instagram at Shay, CHAY.CEO. I have a website, shayceo.com. You can Google me, Shay CEO. I'm everywhere. You want to reach out to me email wise, is sleek, SLEEQ productions with an S at gmail.com. And that's it. I'm here.
Any last words for your future self that you'd love to look back on, or your younger self?
Both. Bitch, you did that. I'm sorry. Like, I look back, if my younger self could see me now, I'd be like, damn, you did what? Like, and then my future self, when they're gonna look back and they're gonna be like, damn, I did that. So, but you did that. That's all I gotta say.
I love that. I love that. All right, I'm gonna stop recording really quick, and then we'll just keep chatting.
All right.
I hope you all enjoyed that video. Shay, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your wisdom and experience with us. I definitely knew that there was moments in there where I got really passionate about the things that I was personally going through. And now that you all know what the vision I have for Tomboy International, if you feel like that you know any tomboys that actually fit into that description, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Again, I'm just here trying to find the positive leaders in our community so we can change the trajectory of the next generation of tomboys. Of course, there's a lot of work to do, but I know that this is what I feel like I was called to do at this point in my life. In the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and just follow me and the Tomboy International journey at either my account, k.short, or you can follow Tomboy International right over here too, or over here. One of these, I think it's this side. And I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Bye now.